Everyone, and welcome to this festive conscious conversation. So today in this session, we are going to look at some simple ideas to inject some festive fun into your social content over the course of December. So some of these ideas will almost certainly be relevant and applicable to what you do at your firm, and hopefully act as a source of inspiration for the next 4 weeks as we build up towards the big day. So as Maddie just mentioned, there will be a few tips at the end about getting the most out of your posts and engaging with your followers and prospective clients during the festive season. But Maddie's also going to be sending over some specially made tips booklets to you all for each of the channels in greater detail, so you can look at these at your own leisure so that we don't overrun today. To kick things off, we're going to briefly touch on each of the channels your firm might be using already and look at how many UK users there are. So LinkedIn UK is the 5th largest market in the world for LinkedIn and the largest in Europe by quite a number of users. So at the beginning of January 2022, 48.6% of the UK population was using LinkedIn, with over 33 million users. And this has rapidly escalated through the quarters and has now reached 51.1% of the country's population. So that's a massive pool of people we can be reaching. Then there's Facebook. So 66% of the population are using this platform and its associated products like Messenger. And then we have Instagram. So the majority of people on Instagram are in the millennial kind of target market, 25 to 34 years old, and represent 50.9% of the entire population. And then Twitter, there are 19 million active users on Twitter in 2022. And you'll see that the average time a UK adult spends on Twitter is around 4 minutes a day. So it's a very fast-paced platform and people are on there to share fast opinions. So why should your law firm share festive content? So considering those statistics, it's fair to imagine social media is like a big room of people, and users will be on all those different channels for all numbers of different reasons. So the majority of the clients you previously worked with are likely in that room, and every client that you are going to work with in the future are probably going to be on there too. So all you have to do as a firm is walk into that room and get their attention and become part of the ongoing conversations people are having. And in December, Christmas naturally plays quite a big part in that. So over the holiday season, it's the time of year when it's most appropriate for your firm to showcase its softer side, which can support in business development efforts as well, because clients want to see real people doing real things and engage on social media alongside the other more professional content you share throughout the year regarding your firm's services. So celebrating Christmas ultimately helps to humanize your firm and makes your people more relatable and approachable, and will result in those following you feeling like they know, like, and trust you, which is an essential part of the decision-making process when people are looking for a service and who to go with. So the following ideas will hopefully help you to build some brand awareness, engage your existing followers, and broaden your reach. So we're going to dive right in. So let's get into it. Number one is add Christmas design features to your profile picture and banner image on all your social channels. So your cover photo or banner image, depending on which channel you're using, there's different terminology, is like your hoarding. So do you have any information, specific services or offers that you would like to showcase during the Christmas period? And if so, let's add them to your branding. This is a really simple and effective way to draw people in and grab their attention the second they land on your firm's page. And I would say from a marketing perspective, for brand consistency and to make everything look really nice and tied together and professional, it's important that you have consistent festive branding across all of your social media channels. And if you do need any support with this, shameless plug, Conscious Solutions do offer a design service, and we can assist with this and add some festive branding to your social media channels as soon as possible, because December is fast approaching. So idea number two, take a Christmas jumper team photo and festive team pictures, which you can use throughout the month of December. So you can kick December off by having a Christmas jumper day or decorating the office or space, lunch, And this will give you the chance to take lots of photos of the team looking Christmassy in all their garbs that you can share throughout December. And it's important that you tag people in the post if you're using LinkedIn, and it's perfectly acceptable to do that on this platform, given that it's a professional channel. Get your faces out there, increase your approachability, and have some fun. So on the slide, you can see the big team picture of Conscious. We actually took this at our conference a little while ago, and we'll be using this during the festive period to kind of bring some awareness to what we're doing over the next month. So idea 3, Christmas charity fundraisers and charity support. So while charitable endeavours and community marketing opportunities are available to you throughout the year, they're especially important and prevalent during the holidays. So the Christmas season is a time of giving, and with a quick Google search, if you haven't got anything to do already, I'm sure you'll be able to find a list of local volunteering opportunities or causes that are in need of help. So depending on how much time you want to spend in community marketing, you could spend some time off-site doing it. Or if you're short of time, which I'm sure many of you are, it's perfectly acceptable in December to create a bit of a roundup of the charitable work and contribution that the firm has made over the course of the past 12 months and reflect on it, sharing images that you've taken throughout the year and then celebrating them at Christmas time as well. So that's a nice idea to promote your involvement. So have any of you got any specific examples of charitable kind of endeavours that you're going to be getting involved in over the Christmas period? Is anyone's firm doing anything special that they can talk about on social media?
We've got a couple of questions and comments here, which I'll read out because I think it fits in now. Is there any proof that clients prefer firms that showcase this stuff, Christmas jumper days and stuff? And what do you do to promote your charity giving without appearing to profit from this and detract from charity giving?
So to answer the first question, it's a good question. I think that throughout the year we share a lot of serious content, and one of the comments that we hear a lot is LinkedIn isn't Facebook. You know, we're not interested in kind of seeing that more jovial, lighthearted content, but the engagement rates speak differently. And in my experience of doing social media for a number of law firms, the posts that achieve the highest engagement are the firm news, the community-centric posts, the posts talking about things like charitable giving and showcasing the real people that work at the firms in a more social presentation. But obviously it's a balance, but those kind of posts are going to draw people to your page, and then they're going to see all the other information that you have available, and it's a real balancing act. And I'm not suggesting that you create lots of kind of informal content, but Christmas is a time of year where we do come together. Christmas marketing isn't necessarily sort of the most professional looking thing in the world, but it is just 1 month. And it's about having a bit of fun and showing your brand personality a bit more and celebrating the people that kind of work at your firm. And then with respect to charity marketing, I think it's not disingenuous to talk about a charitable cause if you are genuinely participating in it. And, you know, a lot of businesses, organizations, law firms and otherwise do so. And a lot of the reason for that is, one, because they actually do want to make a difference. It doesn't come across disingenuous at all, I don't think, to shout about the causes that matter to you and to your people on social media. And Maddie, I know that at Conscious, we talk a lot about Chimpanzees, which is our charity of the year, and we certainly promote that activity and the great things our team are doing. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, if it's not disingenuous and you believe in the cause, I think an occasional post every now and then, or like a monthly roundup of things that people have been doing and stuff like that, is really helpful, and it is engaging. Like you said, we get so much more engagement, likes, comments, shares on pictures that have the team in. Our account managers are obviously client facing, so our clients want to see what they're up to and things. So I'm not saying that we get clients directly from our charity posting and things like that, but it shows our personality and shows what we're up to. I think it's personable and people resonate with things like that. So we do share our stuff about Chimpanzees. We're quite lucky because they're a local Bristol-based charity, so we have a monthly catch up to see what they're up to and how we can help, and then we'll share things that they need as well. So their 3 Peaks challenge, for example, we will share posts on our platform that is just asking for volunteers to get involved. It's not linked to us at all, but because we do believe in the cause, we will share that. And they're the same, they'll tag us in posts and work that we're doing and things like that. So I think it is, if you can get a good relationship built between you and a local charity that your firm does really believe in the cause of, I think it can be like mutually beneficial.
Absolutely. And there's a recent statistic, which off the top of my head, I think was 80% of millennials like to work with businesses and brands that engage with charitable giving on their social media when they do their research. So by talking about the things that you're doing, you're actually attracting attention and engagement to your page. And it doesn't have to be every week. This is one post, in a month over the course of December. So idea 4, find local Christmas events, shout outs, support local businesses, and things that are going on in your community. Sorry, events are twice on this slide. So embedding your firm within its local area, particularly if you're a smaller firm, acts as a great marketing tool. So this involves engaging with your neighbours, including local businesses that might have their own followings, and engage with the content that you've created as a means of putting your firm on the map. And again, this is an example of one post you can do in December. This probably wouldn't be appropriate to do at any other time of year. But sharing images like the example on the screen of your team out and about, participating in Christmas events through volunteering, or may it be sponsorship, or just having fun socializing, at a Christmas party at a venue, is appropriate at this time of year as a one-off post. So for many smaller firms, like I said, those looking at your services will live nearby. So being that friendly neighbour online towards popular or otherwise recognisable local initiatives is a great way of maximising your organic reach, and will help your firm to build its roots as that kind of friendly neighbour in the community. So that's why with these kinds of posts, it's really important to include your local, a local hashtag, so your location, or any other local hashtags that might be used. And you can find these by doing a simple Google search, or looking within the native social media platforms themselves at the hashtags which are being used in your local area. So idea 5, this one's an absolute given, and it's really important that people know what's going on. So post useful updates about your opening and closing times with contact information. Obviously the world doesn't stop because it's Christmas, so it's important to make sure that your existing clients and followers know how to reach you, and what your opening and closing dates and times are. And this is really helpful as well, because it will actually minimize the number of inbound inquiries regarding opening times that you're likely to receive. And if it's stated clearly on your website and then backed up on your social channels, it's going to save oodles of time for whoever's running your social media accounts and emails, and make crystal clear when you are available, and also remind people that you are there for them. So the examples on screen have been designed in Canva, which is a nifty free design tool, which we marketers would very much recommend you using for brand consistency, things like adding your firm's logos and fonts, etc., to your posts. So idea 6.
Sorry, can I just interrupt there for a second? Sorry about that. What was the software you were using? Sorry, that you said for your logo?
It's called Canva, C-A-N-V-A.
Oh yes, I know that. And I've got it. I never used it. So you're suggesting use Canva for the logo? Fantastic.
So when you want to, if you are someone that uses stock imagery or even uses your own original photographs in posts, and you want to add your firm's logo,
yes,
it's a really simple way of layering those images on top of each other.
Is it?
And saving absolutely. And you can save that image as a high quality image, so that the resolution kind of doesn't go down to rubbish when you save it, which can happen through other kind of image layering platforms. So definitely recommend using Canva. It's very much used in the marketer's arsenal.
Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. So then there's idea 6, which is share your festive decorations. Festive decorations, Christmas decorations, are a super easy win. And if yours aren't up already, they're likely to be going up soon, I hope. So share your Christmas tree or Christmas tree decorating efforts for some engagement. Bonus points if you get people in the pictures. People photos always perform better on social media, because it's likely that one of your followers will recognize that person and give that post a like. So always bear that in mind. And if you're a firm that has multiple branches, if pardon the pun, or locations, you could push this idea one step further and have an inter-firm kind of Christmas decorations social media competition and tag the other branches in that post and boost engagement and reach that way. So idea 7, share legal advice relevant to the Christmas period from your website or other channels. So Christmas marketing also focuses on producing legal social media content directed at issues, incidents, and scenarios that are applicable to the holiday season. So on the screen, we have a couple of examples where firms have shared Christmas themed legal blog posts and then use social media as a platform to kind of boost the SEO of those. And this can be applied to whichever area of the law that you work in, and is a good way of generating more traffic to your website. So popular themes we see at Christmas just in general are things like children at Christmas, obviously in family law, things like drink driving, personal injury, to name a few. So blogs, your firm's news section, services pages, your about us, you can turn all of these pages into shareable content at this time of year. And you don't necessarily need to have new content created unless you would, of course, like to, and we can also support with that. But you can share the pages that you think are relevant to Christmas scenarios and then write Christmassy captions on social media and think about using more Christmassy images to help kind of boost those and make them relevant to the Christmas theme. Idea 8, this is David RMD, festive meet the team posts. So no one wants to engage with a faceless organization. It's really important that you do have people pictures on your social media channels generally throughout the year. And one really lovely way of doing this is a weekly kind of meet the team post. It helps to inject a bit of personality into your profile, and it allows potential and existing clients to get to the point of knowing, liking, and trusting you, which is that kind of idea we touched on earlier. And over a period of time, these posts will showcase the wide-ranging skills that exist within your firm. And it's also perfectly acceptable to share your firm's wins on social as well. So promotions, new hires, any accreditations, and attach those to a photograph of a person. And this is relevant to Christmas time because you can use the photographs taken at the Christmas jumper day or Christmas party that we talked about earlier. And we like to see a familiar face. It definitely makes clients and social media users in general feel more at ease when they're looking for a service to have a face attached to it, someone that they can identify when they come into the office or to your branch. And it's a guaranteed way of securing more engagement because, like we touched on already, if you tag that person on LinkedIn, their network are going to see that post, especially if they like the post or reshare it. Then number 9, the idea of doing a reverse advent calendar for a local food bank. So the Trussell Trust, which supports a network of 1,200 food banks in the UK currently, have this scheme called the reverse advent calendar, which they do every single year. And instead of receiving a gift, those taking part in a reverse advent calendar actually donate an item each day. So you could set up a reverse advent calendar in your working space and encourage those coming into work to bring an item each day they're in. And over the course of 24 days, you'll end up with kind of 12 days rather, you'll end up with 24 days, 24 goods, sorry, numbers wrong, that can be dropped off at a local food bank, shelter, or to a local good cause, and make sure that you find out what that station specifically needs. And this makes for great content because you can update your followers on your progress, and it will provide a few days worth of content as well as a lovely photograph of the end of what you've donated. And it's engaging directly with a local cause and promoting it on your channels, which is a lovely way to show a charitable ethos in a genuine kind of way. And then we have the idea of festive giveaways on social media. So as well as giving to charity, Christmas provides the opportunity to reward your clients for their loyalty or your followers for engaging with your content throughout the year. And everyone loves a giveaway, especially at Christmas time. And this can generate lots of nice engagement organically. So Maddie, we actually run a giveaway at Conscious. Are you happy to talk a little bit about what you do on our pages?
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully you know that every year we do an advent calendar. If not, I will put the link to our mailing list in the chat at the end of this so you can sign up. But every year we work with legal sector suppliers to get a host of prizes together, and then each day we do a giveaway. So it's open to all law firm employees, and it's a different prize each day. It's really simple to get involved. You just open the advent calendar door and you're entered into our prize giveaway. It's a lot of work, and probably it's a bit too late to create your own now, because we've been planning this since September, but it's a really good way to bring people to a page on your website. Maybe they'll head somewhere else, maybe they won't, but you're in the forefront of their mind. Then they're landing on your website. We, like I said, have a mailing list which has about 3,000 law firm employees. So it's a good way to build a substantial mailing list just for this campaign. We obviously delete all of the information afterwards, but you're in their mind then and they know who you are. So yeah, I think Christmas giveaways can work really well just to bring people to your website, make something a little bit fun and festive, because obviously if someone's landing on your website during the festive season, it's probably not going to be for a particularly happy reason. So just bringing a little bit of festive cheer to maybe like cheer them up or something. Yeah, I think it can be quite successful. We've seen success in our advent calendar. So yeah.
Thanks, Maddie. And I think as well, you might be wanting people to go to your website, or you might want to be building an email list or to get more followers to your LinkedIn page. So when you're designing your giveaway, think about your end goal, and how you can get your audience to engage with it. So one question we get asked quite a lot, so I thought I'd include it, is where can I find royalty-free images that I don't have to pay for, where I'm not going to get in trouble with copyright, etc., that are relating to Christmas and this time of year. So it goes without saying, using your own original imagery of people that work at your firm to help build your brand is the best thing that you can do and is best practice. So use your own images when you're talking about your own people wherever possible. However, if you're looking for images to share alongside your blog posts relating to the legal issues that we looked at a second ago, so kind of images that obviously don't feature anyone in your firm, you can use pexels.com, which is one that I use all the time, or unsplash.com, and these photographs are free to download and royalty free, so you don't have to pay for them and you don't have to credit the photographer. That's what I'm getting at. So these are a few of generic tips for getting the most out of your posts, and Maddie is going to send over some tips booklets at the end, which go into a huge amount of detail about all of the platforms respectively. But to summarize for these 10 examples, I would say always share with a photo, and photos with people perform better engagement wise because there's that familiarity there. So someone on social media will know that person and will instantly be drawn to it versus a stock image which has no emotional attachment or draw to that user. Where possible on LinkedIn, this tip applies to tag anyone featured in the post and tag your firm where possible. So if you're talking about your firm from the firm's page in the third person, make sure you @ and tag so that it's clickable and users can click through to your page more easily, and tag up to 5 users. Post firm news once a week about your people, about what's going on within your firm. This content gets the best engagement in my experience as someone who works with several law firms. The firm news is the content that people like to see the most, and it helps to build your brand, it helps to build familiarity, and at Christmas, this is the best time to do it. Have a bit of fun with it. It's the one time of year where you actually can. And use relevant hashtags. If there are local hashtags that you can exploit to kind of become more reachable and accessible to those living in the local area, make sure you're using those. Law hashtags, #law, it's a global hashtag. It's going to have millions of hits worldwide. It's not a targeted hashtag to use. So if you're a solicitor based in London, London solicitors, Canterbury solicitors, Bristol solicitors, use hashtags that are slightly more local to reach more local people. And engage with company, or in this case, law firm posts from your own profiles. So if you follow your firm on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter from your personal account, make sure you're supporting all these efforts by giving those posts a like. They become the reach expands, and make sure you're engaging with them and giving them a bit of a head start. And then with respect to engaging with other users, the most successful social media pages and profiles are those that respond to every comment that they receive, and that they take an active interest with what their followers ask for and what their networks are looking for, as well as sharing and broadcasting. People don't want to follow brands that just constantly talk about themselves. They want to feel listened to. So ensure that when you do respond to people, you're using their name in the comment section, you're personalizing your customer service, and it's a great way to get noticed for having a nice personal approach. So does anyone have any questions about social media generally, or about anything we've covered? Maddie, I think there might be a few in the chat.
Yeah, I can't see anything else in the chat for now. I'm sure that.
I quickly ask, sorry, how much time?
Sorry,
how much time should a firm spend in doing this side of things? Really, it is a little bit neglected. You don't need to tell people this. I mean, we know this. We should be spending more time doing this side of things, which is why you guys exist. How much time should we be spending? Should it be 30 minutes a week? An hour? Should we be doing a little bit every day? Set aside time for each day, or for certain days of the week, or what would you recommend?
So this question actually was one of our pre-prepared questions. So your social media presence should be monitored every single day, especially when you're thinking about inbound inquiries. We need to make sure people aren't being potentially ignored for longer than 24 hours in inboxes and things like that. But in terms of actual sharing, the best place to start with a social media strategy is to determine what you're doing it for, and create content that's going to serve that purpose. You don't necessarily need to share content every day, but definitely to be involved, I'd advise sharing about 4 times a week. So, I mean, how long is a piece of string? It depends on the quality of the content you're sharing. But I would dedicate a couple of hours a week to social media in terms of engaging and creating the content and sharing. And then the second part of the question that we were asked earlier is whether it's worth it or not. So I'd say think about the numbers that we looked at the beginning of the presentation in terms of the possibility of reach. So social media is a great place to shout about the wins and the culture of your firm and the talent in one place in a way that's more personal than the website, because there's more ongoing conversation within social media, and it's more of a two-way discussion than on the website itself.
We've had another question come in. Is there any tools to schedule posts on LinkedIn or Twitter?
So not built into the native platforms, but you can, if you want to schedule posts, that you can create Hootsuite for free. I don't know if that's something you've heard of before. So Hootsuite is a social media sharing platform, a management platform, which typically you have to pay for. But if you only have one of each type of account, so one profile for Facebook, one for LinkedIn, one for Twitter, and it's not more than one brand, you can share them all from Hootsuite. And I would be more than happy to send over some instructions about how to set that up after the session.
I actually joined a webinar this week with Richard van der Blom. I don't know if anyone has heard of him, but he is a big LinkedIn trainer, and he did mention that in 2023 LinkedIn might be introducing a feature where you will be able to schedule posts from LinkedIn directly. So I'll see if I can find some more information on that, and we'll send it out in the follow-up email as well, because that would be very helpful.
And did anyone else have any other questions?
Sorry, what was that guy's name again? Richard?
Van der Blom. So VAN space DER space BLOM. Yeah, if you don't already follow him on LinkedIn, I would definitely recommend following him, because he's always sharing algorithm updates and things like that. So he's got lots of very useful tips and advice.
Yeah, he recently did a presentation about the LinkedIn algorithm specifically for the legal sector, looking at how it works, and provided some really, really useful insights. And I definitely second Maddie when I say you should check him out.
Can I ask you, on my LinkedIn profile, I have quite a few other lawyers on it. And of course, as you probably know, there's no point pitching to lawyers. They're not the guys you're looking for. You're looking obviously for new leads and new clients rather than lawyers themselves. What would you say about that, getting rid of the lawyers? There was a reason why I put lawyers on there, by the way. It was for recruitment purposes. So I periodically, when I'm looking for lawyers, I will approach people and just let them know I'm looking. And then hopefully that goes amongst the lawyers rather than using agencies and that sort of thing. That's the reason behind it. But I've also got the law firm, and I suppose I get confused between dealing with sometimes my personal one, which is me as a solicitor, and then the law firm, which is the law firm one. Now, should I be using really the law firm one exclusively for the law firm things and staying away from anything else from that? Or do I keep using my personal one, which is me as a solicitor, still is me as a solicitor, for most of my posts, which is what I tend to do, to be honest with you?
Yes, so it's a good question. So I think it's very, very important that the firm has consistent activity as sort of a base for when people are doing that research about the firm, to land on the page and have all that information there. But in terms of your own LinkedIn, having something that we call in marketing as a personal brand is becoming more and more important. So sharing your own insights and your own posts talking about your professional experience and things that you're passionate about is becoming more and more important in terms of business development and finding leads. And with respect to getting rid of your network and the other solicitors and lawyers in your network, I would advise absolutely do not do that. Because the content you're creating relating to the legal sector will resonate with them and achieve engagement, which the algorithm will then push out to a wider kind of net of people, if you like. So having the engagement from your relevant sector professionals is going to actually help your posts to expand their organic reach and potentially reach other clients. So I would advise to actually stick with it, keep building your personal brand, and don't get rid of your relevant professionals. No, I wouldn't advise it.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. We did have another question, which I will revert back to, which is, in what way does social media content generate new leads that Google SEO and PPC does not? Or would you say it's another tool to deploy? So each strategy for each of these things depends on the firm, the client base, the service, the goals of the marketing project. So with PPC, obviously, for those that you don't know what it is, you can be seen by customers at the very moment they're searching on Google for the things that you offer. SEO is the practice of improving your digital visibility and authority with a view to driving more traffic to your website. So both are incredibly valuable. But I'd say social media, while these things can work in juxtaposition with each other, social media is a very different tool. So social media allows you to interact with your clients and audience in real time. It's a two-way conversation. You can control your brand perception and social communication and the way that comes across creatively. And you can use all kinds of media. So you can use text, images, videos, and adverts to engage with people in different ways, depending on what their preference is, or depending on which campaigns you have running and what you're trying to promote, and figuring out the best way to do that, which media will be most appropriate. But it is worth saying that organic social media activity, it's not about overnight results. It's about building a relevant audience and cultivating that audience over a long period of time as part of a brand awareness piece, so that when people are looking for legal services and they're in the process of making that decision, you'll be front of mind because you've chipped away at it and you've got this ongoing social media presence. But I'd say do all three if you can, and these functions work really well together. But social media is another tool. Has anyone got any other questions?
Great, thanks, Sophia. We haven't had anything else through yet. I'll give it another sort of 30 seconds or so. We've flown through this, but I think that you've given us so much information and lots of practical examples that firms can go away and do themselves. So hopefully everyone's found it very useful. I'm just about to post the link to our mailing list for the advent calendar in the chat if you do want to sign up. We've got festive hampers, chocolate, electricals, loads of prizes. So it goes up to the 23rd of December and it's a different prize each day. There's some really nice charity donations where you can win money to a charity of your choice. Yeah, we've not had any other questions come through as of yet, so I think we'll probably end it here, and then if anyone has any other questions that they want answered, myself and Sophia will be connecting with you on LinkedIn if you want to accept our connection request. So you can ask us via LinkedIn or you can email in. Like I said, we'll be sending out this recording later this week with our festive marketing checklist and our tips booklets as well. So I'm going to stop the recording